Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 15th of June episode of the Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream. Tonight, what we are going to be discussing is what's your favorite non-starring bush paddling or camp tool? Because this was something that the original idea, the kernel of the idea that turned into tonight's episode was actually suggested by Tyler Rodriguez. He's one of the Patreon supporters, and I do occasionally pull the Patreon guys for ideas. And I had, of course, again forgotten what I wanted to do this week. And he said, "What's your favorite bush tool?" And in my head, it's always going to be your axe or your saw. Well, your axe or your knife. Maybe your favorite flint and steel kit, but there are second tier tools that we all grab for all the time, or maybe not necessarily only tools. Let's open it up to bush items that you reach for every time you go into the woods, and if you forget it, you kind of feel out of sorts. I'm cheating because I have two different things with me here tonight, but if you want to give me a top five, or you guys are talking about your top three or something, we're not gonna, no harm no foul. Tonight, instead of the beer, again, I am having a Wolfburn Aurora. This is a single malt that was finished in a sherry oak. No chill filtering and no caramel coloring. So that is the natural color. Absolutely beautiful. Smells good, tastes good. Like it. So let's see who's with us tonight. We got Tenenbaum. Hi, nice to see you. We got Russell from Raspberry Rock, off grid. Always nice to see you as well. Tyler Rodriguez is actually here. Always nice to see him. Not around all the time these days. Apparently his work situation has changed. Mark Putmans, how's it going? Chris Garland, hi. And of course, the one and only Mr. Pine Martin. And he's already dropping the knowledge as to what his favorite second tier tools are. So I do want to say, little housekeeping, if you are watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whatever, thank you for spending your time with us even after the fact. I appreciate that massively, and I like knowing that people are interested enough to watch even when they can't be partaking in the side chat. Now, the scotch is poured, the housekeeping is done. Let's get a little conversation going. So as I said, I have two favorites, but there are a lot of things that I always reach for, and there's some stuff that I maybe surprisingly don't always have on me. Like, I don't always have a twig stove. There are those who would say that that's not a smart choice because you never know, right? You may not be able to do a full-fledged fire, and I do know people who always have either a twig stove or a little gas stove, a little propane thingy, or an alcohol stove or something. And I would like to meet a stove that I like well enough to always have in my pack. Because as it is right now, that sometimes I bring my little IKEA hobo stove, the one that I made. I've got a little tiny folding one. I got one of those Primus or Primus or however the hell you pronounce it. The one that you just screw onto your little gas canister. But I haven't really. I'm surprised by how much I like that little Primus stove for someone who doesn't love cooking with gas. Like, for someone who loves to have a nice big campfire to cook on and to sit around and enjoy for the sense of place. It's surprising how much I like that little Primus stove. But it's a very context specific stove, right? I'm making ramen or something, or I'm making tea, and I'm not taking the time to, excuse me, to sit around and enjoy the sense of place that a campfire brings me. So should I start off by just showing you guys what two of my favorite second tier wilderness items are. Is that what you guys think I should start with? I just want to trying real hard to hide behind the mic. Well, it's if I move it over a little bit, do I still sound okay? It's not a very high-end mic. I think it sounds really good for the price that I didn't pay. It used to belong to a bandmate. So Martin says that his go-to secondary tools are Leatherman multi-tool, which is a legit choice, and paracord. Those are very good choices. I lost my Leatherman. So I have no idea where it went, but it's amazing how much something like that can be useful when you're not surrounded by screws and bolts. I mean, like they're very urban centric multi-tools, but out in the woods, it's amazing how often that pair of pliers will come in handy, or that little, if you have one with a tiny saw. But yeah, everyone's just saying hi. I see Mallory's here. Nice to see you. How's it going? Everything's just sort of shifted. Mark says a fine paddle is an important consideration. Now, that brings up a question. This is supposed to be about second tier wilderness tools. If you're an avid paddler, is a paddle not maybe a first tier tool? Like, is a paddle to a paddler not like an axe to a bushcrafter? Or if you're more of a bushcrafter who paddles than a paddler who camps or whatever, then does that context switch make the paddle a second tier tool? That's actually kind of an interesting conversation in its own right, isn't it? Everyone say hi to Mallory. Hey, Hike with Mike is here as well. How's it going? Okay. Chris Garland says small binoculars. Small binocs. That's a good one. That's a very good one. I I recently, like a few years ago, when I did that video about camping with my family in the Saguenay, I bought. Oh my land! I'm already yawning. Sorry, guys. I bought a pair of Celestrons. They're a little big for hiking with. I have a couple of really small sets of binoculars, but they're really cheap. If I could get a really stellar small set, I think that would be really cool for biking, for hiking, or like I'll have the big clunky ones, and maybe I can pass the little ones to Camille for a hike, so that we each have a pair of binocs. Yeah, that's a very, very good choice. Because there's always something you can, like if you're on a mountainside or next to a wide open lake or something, a pair of binocs really comes in handy. So good. Yeah, for Mark, a paddle is definitely a first tier tool. But if I had a canoe and a paddle and stuff, especially like my first year paddling, like with all the equipment, would a paddle be a first tier tool for me? Or is it a first tier tool while I'm sitting in the canoe and then switches to a secondary or a tertiary tool, in fact, while I'm sitting at camp? I mean, some people use them as like a little tent pole kind of thing, but LT is here. How's it going? Russell says that if I don't take a canoe, then the paddle is a bear beater. That is important knowledge. Thank you for bringing that up. I shall bring a paddle on all my excursions from this point onwards. Excuse me. Hi, Scott. How's it going? Now, Mark says that instead of the binoculars, maybe a monocular. And I've never used one, but I kind of, and I don't know, but I kind of feel that binocular vision gives you a more 3D experience while you're looking, whereas what monocular wouldn't. Like, just I feel that I get more of a 3D view, even just with my eyes, because of parallax and all that. So, like, would the monocular give me the same sense of depth while I'm looking at something far away? I mean, I guess your sense of depth, even with binoculars, can really get squashed, but I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad decision. It's not a bad suggestion. I'm just wondering about it. Grace says bungee cords. Yeah, it never even occurred to me, but you can't go wrong with a good set of bungee cords in the back of your car or your backpack, can you? LT survival. My Tilly hat. I have a Tilly hat as well, and that's a fantastic piece of kit. Absolutely. I'm not sure what a wobbly is. Looks like I'm not alone. Hike with Mike says, my hand-carved Shawnee War Club or my tomahawk, excuse me, guys, would be my second-tier tools. Now, Hike, why is a tomahawk a second-tier tool for you? Because up here, your axe is definitely a first-tier tool. Is it because you have a tomahawk as a backup axe? Or, excuse me, are you in the kind of territory where like a machete is more important than an axe or something, maybe? I don't know. Oh, wobbly is a ranger blanket. Okay. Simone is here. Salut, monsieur. Okay. Oh, it's a military poncho. Okay. Tenenbaum says, smallish binoculars are good. I found them really handy in Quetico where portages and campsites are not signed. Good to know. Simo has a monocular. It'll be a military poncho liner. Okay. So I may as well show two of my sort of preferred second-tier tools. One of which is absolutely my wool blanket, my Canadian Forces wool blanket. LT can tell you, you probably hate these when you're in basic training, but now that I'm years and years later, outside of my cadets days, I do love this blanket. You can't beat the quality for the price. Wool is, yeah, it's scratchy and everything, but toughen up. No, seriously, they're a little scratchy and everything, but they maintain their thermal properties when wet. You get an ember on it, you brush it off. And I like the Canadiana aspect of having a Canadian Forces wool blanket. I would love the Canadiana aspect of having a Hudson's Bay blanket. I'm pining for one. Well, I'm pining for two, but that's because I'm a spoiled bitch, as my wife calls me. I would love a small one to take into the woods. Like I would build kind of a primitive setup around it. But also just I want one for our bed in the bedroom. They're so expensive, it's crazy. But one day I'll just start buying lottery tickets. Okay, here's the answer from Hike. I'm a handsaw guy, and in the south, most trees are softwoods. Yeah, okay. Simone is being cryptic. He just apparently made his favorite second-tier tool. But if you just made it, it can't be your favorite second-tier tool yet because you haven't had a chance to be reaching for it all the time. So this is what you hope will become a favorite second-tier tool. So I want to know what it is. Grace says, I take a field jacket liner made of the same lightweight quilted fabric as a woobie. I wear it as a jacket if it's a little chilly. At night, I stuff the jacket into one of the sleeves to make a pillow. Yeah, I have a little camp pillow, but before I had it, I just rolled up my pants or whatever and slept on them. I feel that you don't need a pillow is a nice to have, especially if it's one of those inflatable ones, I guess. Mine isn't inflatable, but it stuffs smallish. But it's something I have because I'm getting old rather than something you really need. Hike Gloves is wool blanket. Of course, I only use it a couple of months out of the year, but I always look forward to it. Yeah, in fact, I can. I bring this wool blanket even when it's hotter than you would typically assume to be wool blanket weather, because excuse me, I put it down. I use it as like a ground cover if I'm gonna just if I'm making a fire and I'm gonna sit back and relax for a while. I'll just lay down the blanket, and when I get up, I just brush it off. I almost never have to throw it through the wash. Because as Tyler, if he's here, will tell you guys, you don't want to be throwing a wool blanket through the wash too often because it'll start to lose its properties. I don't know, Russell, how many different types of alcohol can you make your second tier tools? Only you can decide that. Scott likes where your head's at tonight, Russell. So if anyone wants to tell me about their favorite second tier tools, and you're going to stay on subject, I'm dropping the invite down there now. If we can get a couple of people up to talk about there. Oh yeah, and the other is I like to have a notebook. I like to have a notebook along with me. Because fairly often I'll be sitting there and an idea for an episode will pop up or whatever. Like I'm always writing in notebooks. I like to have a nice pen with me. Obviously, the color of the ink is not something that bothers me. Come on, fool. This is so redonkulous. There we go. Right? Doesn't matter the color of the ink. I'm not one of these guys who always uses the same color ink. I used to have an aunt who always used the exact same ink. Found out that in the company she was working at, the people in the executive suite, they all used Mont Blancs, and they each used a different color ink, so that when they wrote each other notes, which tells you how long ago this was, you could tell by the color which chief blah 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 officer was writing the note. They didn't even have to sign it. I'm a little process agnostic when it comes to ink colors. Yeah, I do this thing where I fold them in weird ways if I want to sort of keep track of where something was, right? Like I was writing about one subject on that page, something else on this page. I couldn't tell you now because this one is like 15 years old. But at one point I could have told you what each shape of the fold was. I took my notebooks quite seriously. In fact, I used this one so much that I ruined the elastic on it. For those of you who are wondering, these are all moleskins. Yeah, it's the. I'm a little agnostic when it comes to ink color, but I am very, very regular when it comes to the notebooks I choose. Some people use the write in the rain. I think that's probably a smarter choice if you're out in the woods. You don't know if it's going to rain or snow or whatever, but I like my moleskins. No, Simo's in the green room, but he just lost his connection. So
good evening.
Hike with Mike says, I always wash my wool blanket with a very little soap. With very little soap too, and dry it on a clothesline. Yeah, I never put my blanket through the dryer. No way. What type of notebook and what kind of pen? As I said, they're moleskins, and I do want to say, no lines. I don't want no lines. You can't.
I actually love the dotted ones.
Dotted are okay. I like the nice blank page though. Hike with Mike says right on with a notebook. It's always in your packing list for camping and hiking. Yeah. I have a Fisher Space Pen. I generally use like roller balls and stuff like that, but I do have a Fisher Space Pen around here somewhere. Very, very cool invention. Nope, I do not use the waterproof notebooks, but if I was smarter, I probably would. Relan 71. Did I just blow the pronunciation on that? Rien? Rien? Probably not rien, huh, Simon? Sharpie pens. Sharpie does make pens now, and I do have a few of those. I only discovered them a couple of weeks ago, so I have some in the workshop, and they work really nicely, actually.
They are, actually.
Yeah. Chris says he likes the Write in the Rain notebooks and pencil. If you need to leave a message, it will survive the elements for some time. Yeah, see, these are all reasons why I really should switch to the Write in the Rain. But I'm a creature of habit. I do like the moleskin.
So, you want to see the little project that I've tackled?
Sure.
Well, for the first weekend, I'm heading out to camp this weekend.
This weekend?
This weekend. And no, it's not going to be hiking. It's going to be car camping. Because I'm getting old.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. And because showers are always a possibility over camp.
Yep.
And it's a provincial park. So you cannot cut everything that you want.
No, you cannot cut anything you want.
Yeah. That's not a problem. Anyway, so I had to improvise cheaply because I'm cheap. So it ended up with the good whole painting pole on which I literally cut a paint roller.
Okay, but what's it for? Is that to hold up your tarp?
And that thing.
Yeah. I see it. Okay, so how are you going to anchor it?
Oh, just take it with guidelines.
Okay. Not a bad concept. Now, question though, those because that's one that you turn to Titan, right?
Yep.
Is it going to be strong enough if you turn to Titan? If you really jack it up and you get tension, yeah, it's going to be good enough. Okay.
Test it.
Oh, you did. All right.
Yep. And the other good thing is that you can remove that stabby thing.
Yeah.
And just put a tennis ball on top of it if you need to.
Right.
Just to give tension in the middle.
Yeah, right. Ian the Web Lord says, "Evening all. I love the idea of notepads, but I can't read anything I've written when I go back." Okay.
Is it too much beer?
Mark Pootman is just making digs at me. Okay, it's like rain. Okay. Perfect. I will remember that. Sorry about that.
Anyway, the other thing is I realized this is probably that was cheapest than buying off the shelf tarp poles. Right. Literally.
Right.
That's one of the few things in a hardware store these days that was cheaper.
Right. So which park are you going to?
I'm heading to Voyageurs Park at the Quebec-Ontario border.
Okay.
In Ontario.
Nice. Very nice.
Near Hawkesbury.
Near Hawkesbury, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Hold on, Ian. Okay, so Mark wasn't making digs at me. He just meant something sneak off into another dimension. Because Mark is a weird guy. I love that guy, man.
Mark is Mark.
Mark is definitely Mark. There is no other
There's
Mark.
nothing else to say.
The one true Mark.
And to be honest with you, he's a lot weirder than you may think.
Okay. Good to know. Ian says I should have been a doctor writing scripts, or maybe it's because I'm left-handed and always hated writing. Yeah, I feel that. If I was master of the universe, to me, left-handed people would just be able to write the other way, and it would you wouldn't have to write left to right in English or in whatever language you're in. I used to study runes a lot, like Germanic runes, and I did a lot of work on them in university because I've always been a real geek about languages, especially dead ones. And one thing that impressed me massively, and this is true of a lot of ancient languages, by the way, is that there was no prescribed way to write. You could do left to right, you could do right to left, you could do what they called snake script, which was just like this, spiral, whatever. And I feel that, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about here tonight, so I'm going to cut it here. I feel that when you regiment a language like Latin, which became what we speak now, maybe some of the life goes out of it, Well, but yeah, so I was just saying that because I understand, my wife is left-handed.
There's two ways to look at this problem. Go with Morse or switch to Arabic or Hebrew.
But it's the same problem. It's just it's only right to left.
Nope.
I have never seen Arabic written left to right. Never once. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. I'm going to Google that later, by the way. Oh, okay. Rain listens usually. Oh, God. Sorry. Usually listens later. Okay. All right. So welcome to the live part of the live stream then.
Hope we don't disappoint.
Yeah, me too. Hey, look who it is. How's it going, mister? Kincaid's Outdoors is also left-handed. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, Colin. I shouldn't have called you that. And Rain's lefty too? How many of you guys are left-handed? Colin and I have that in common. Both of our women folk, our wives are left-handed. Hey.
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 Hey, what's up, eh?
What's going on? How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. I saw there's a Friends reunion that's gonna happen, or that already happened, that I missed out on, and I was like, what? 25 years anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I haven't been here in a while. Sorry. I've been busy.
You haven't been online at all in a while, it feels.
No, yeah, I've been sick and busy just with the spring planting and the drought, and it's just been hard.
I've been working my butt off to keep my garden growing nice, and I've been in a pitched battle with the squirrels over my bird feeder.
Oh yeah.
I think I may have finally pulled off a win. Now, what's interesting about you being here is because we're talking about your favorite second tier outdoors tools, right? Mm-hmm. Like for me, it was my wool blanket and my notebooks. Notebooks seem to be kind of popular for some people. Someone on my Instagram, I think it was actually Paul Bakima, said his glasses, which absolutely, but because I didn't want to hear about people's first tier tools, right? Because everyone's going to say my axe, my knife, my fire steel. But in a homesteading situation, do you have the same sort of these are my first tier tools, my favorites that are the starring role of the field or whatever, and then there are all these secondary things that you just always have to reach for, or you always reach for?
Yeah, my X-Acto knife. Always, my X-Acto knife is my best friend here. Yeah. Always using my X-Acto knife.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it cuts everything. I have went from opening animals with an X-Acto knife and skinning animals with an X-Acto knife. It never dulls. And if it dulls, you just cut off the blade and then it just ooh, sharp again.
Yeah.
And X-Acto knife.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's on the farm. I would say two. I would have two favorite tools. The first one is a hoe, because it's much more versatile than a shovel when you think about it. And the second one, and Mark will probably laugh his off, and that would be a farm jack.
A tractor?
No, a farm jack or tractor jack.
See,
literally, I can use it as a winch. I can use it to lift or pull everything.
In fact, you used it to lift a sonotube when I was pouring concrete.
Yep.
Pillars for my
pull?
fence. No, it's essentially it's a big ass jack. It's like a really honking jack, right?
It's
tractor sized.
High lift jack is the most popular one.
But you see, that one makes sense to me because that is definitely a second tier tool. Whereas a hoe, like in my garden, a hoe is a first tier tool, right? That's a star and roll tool. That's like having a shovel or a rake. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's tools for gardening, there's tools for all around, but like, yeah, my first tier tool I think would be the X-Acto because I can harvest, I can like do a whole bunch of stuff with it. It's like the tool that I use probably the most, or like all around the farm.
Right.
And then second tier, I'd have to think about that one. Second tier.
I like what Grace said about one of about a really ideal second tier tool. Definitely not essential, but handy to have is a pair of cheap metal tongs from the dollar store. Use it to move around logs in the fire pit when I need a bed of coals for cooking. Yeah, man, you are so right. I can't tell you how often I'll be sitting there, campfire, and like, I wish I had tongs. You know, and I'm trying to like take two sticks. You know that where you've got two sticks and you're trying not to sort of, you know, like you're trying to use like these huge chopsticks or something. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Grace. I agree completely.
I just use my boots. Like I toss around the fire with my boots. I'm bad. Like I'll kick in it.
Yeah. Mark is asking what that background is, but I think I know what that background. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my house. That's my garden, my front yard, actually.
Yeah.
That's my last year's garden when I had like everything growing.
Right.
This year it looks much different.
Russell's just tossing in on the Friends reunion. What's the Friends reunion going to be called? Hey, we need more money.
I don't know. I saw that on my French side of things on Crave, and I was like, "What is that on Crave?" I have to go check that out.
It's and it's unscripted too, which will be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's out yet, but
unscripted.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Russell's bringing the class. I prefer a 10-bug hoe.
Oh.
I don't know why the hell I even acknowledged that. Honestly, Colin's with you. He carries a box cutter every day.
Okay, second tier would be the drink holder, maybe. I don't know. I saw this really cool drink holder that I could put in the garden, and it was at the dollar store, and it was literally like a spring with a long hook, and you could just put it in the garden to put your drink down. I need a few of those. I
have a version of that called a swirly gig that it's the same like this, but then it hooks onto my mic stand.
Oh.
So I can have a pint while I'm on stage. You know?
Yeah.
Singing, pop out the pint, pop it back in.
That was the perfect sound effect.
That's like my catch-all sound effect when I'm being dramatic about drinking something. You know, I was so hot I needed some water. It's such an irritating sound. I should never do that again. Scott says that Grace is crushing the ideas tonight. Yeah, man.
Grace has great ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Colin says he prefers a decent fire poker. I kind of think you guys know what's called a squirrel cooker. You know that cast iron thing. You know you can stick it up and have. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those two sticks
it
with.
It can be two, or it can be just one that's got a loop, and stuff like that. Because you can always pop a piece off and use it as a fire poker. You know, I don't want to bring a dedicated fire poker. I am trying to minimize what I bring with me. I fail at it miserably because I'm always like, oh, I may need this, I don't know, orange parka in summer or something. I don't know. But like I get caught by this idea that I don't want to be without X. but I'm really trying to trim down what Chris says. An analog watch.
You mean like this?
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Why specifically an analog watch? Chris, I need more. I need more info.
Well, these days I've been carrying around this little radio that I got from, like, I know I showed it on one of my live streams. And Russell has one too. And I've been seriously like loving this thing. It's solar and I can listen to the radio all day with me. And it's got a light on it. And it's really lightweight. Here, let me show you the light. There's a light here. There's a flashlight. There's a radio, and it's it's got a USB, so I can plug in my phone. I've been lugging this thing around with me like all week, and I'm just like, I can't get enough of these things.
I like that. I have one of those sort of emergency, like you can
Yeah.
plug it in, or you can wind it up, or you can blah blah blah. It's got a red light on it and a flashlight, but mine has never worked. It was by Eaton.
Oh.
And mine has literally never worked. I've had it for like 15 years, and I've never gotten it to work. Hike with Mike says, I have my favorite Japanese wood saw I always take with me. It does not have a sheath, so I use an oven glove as a sheath, and it can also be used to move hot logs around the fire. So it has a dual purpose. Yeah, dual purpose items are win as far as I'm concerned. My wood saw, my little wood saw, is also Japanese. It's a silky. Bloody laser sword, man. It's a lightsaber.
Yeah, I just received my latest silky.
Did you?
Yep.
I need to get a bigger one. Scott says that Mal is a Sung Life shill, guys. Oh, is that a Sung Life?
So I've been with Sung Life for a little while. They've been sending me a whole bunch of stuff, but I really like their stuff.
Yeah.
They're just really nice to me.
Simone's dropped a link for the Farm Jack. Yeah, you've like that pressure washer you had with a Sung Life too, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And when I gave one away,
yeah,
I loved it so much that I asked them to give me another one so I can give it away. I'm gonna go check that out. What that jack is.
Colin used to own a fire poker that was also a blow tube and a bottle opener before it was stolen. That must have been weird looking. My blow tube is one of those that you can. It's called a pocket bellows, right? It's extendable.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's an excellent second tier tool. Because with that thing, I don't have to. You know this thing? Do you guys know this? You do this, and it directs you. Simo's looking at me like I'm from Mars. You guys don't know about this?
Mm-mm.
Well, y'all got to get educated because is very, very good. But that little blow tube is a whole lot better.
Oh, for the fire?
Yeah.
The blow. Oh, yeah. Trail Trash Outdoors had a video on one of those things. That link doesn't work, I don't think. I don't see any jack.
So there's some conversation about what the analog watch can do, and it's like a rudimentary direction tool, and you can signal for help, I guess, and the lens.
It is working.
Yeah, it's the watch. I was looking for the jack.
Yeah, because it says Farm Jack image.
There you go. I had the wrong one. I was on the watch link.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, to pull up posts. Yeah.
Not only post, you can. I was using one at the fire department when I was a volunteer.
Yeah,
we
I've
had
seen those.
4 or 6 on the truck to do extrications.
Oh yeah, I've never used one. I have an excavator, so I just that's a very nice tool to have.
I was gonna say, we're here talking about tools, and then Mal says, "Well, I have an excavator. No big deal." Everyone else is like, "Fuck you!" Oh,
Demonetized.
Damn it. Hey, Austin's Corner is here.
Hello.
Nice. How's it going?
Yay. Anyway, I've been using farm jack since I'm probably 9 or 10.
Right.
Pulling post and doing a bunch of stuff, but I've used it more and more over time, simply as a winch.
Yeah.
With chains.
Yeah. Or palin, a chaîne aussi. What is that in a chain?
A chain block.
Chain block. Yeah, man. We use that a lot too.
Right.
Boy, do we.
I want to say hi. Nate Muskoka's joined us. How's it going, mister?
Hey,
always nice to see you.
Dennis is here. I was just on his stream with Alexis Outdoors, and
I was trying to get my damn baby to sleep.
Oh.
In fact, I was almost late for my own live stream because it took an epic long time tonight. Colin says, I just picked up a Fire Steel Striker that is a file blanket pin and can be used like brass knuckles. You know, I keep saying that I like things that can do more than one task, but it's like Colin takes it to the extremes.
Yeah, but it's a really cool tool. He showed it on one of his live streams. It's really cool.
Hi, Dennis. How's it going? I'm sorry I missed your live stream. I'll watch it tomorrow, as always.
I won't, because the last weeks were bunkers at the office, at work.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Austin says, I've been wondering all day if I have anything that fills this topic, and I have not been able to think of anything. But you know, Austin, everyone's got like a secondary tools that they don't think about a lot, but they always reach for anyway. For some people, man, it's a flashlight, right? Or a headlamp or something. It's funny, like around here, like around the house, what I would consider a second tier tool that I always reach for, I have no idea. Literally no idea, but I think it might be a screwdriver. I have one of those Pickwick screwdrivers where you pop the bit out and then
are really good,
and then sort of, you know. In fact, so I have this Pickwick that I've only had for a relatively short amount of time, and my wife needed to get into the drain at the bottom of the swimming pool, and she's like, go get me your screwdriver. And I'm like, it's a saltwater pool.
Yeah.
But she said, go get me the screwdriver. So I was like, okay, I'm gone. So I went and I got the screwdriver, and she went and did whatever she needed underwater and came back up and handed it to me. And I ran off and hosed it off and dried everything with like a towel and then laid them out in the sun. And there's no damage. Thank the gods, because they're not the cheapest screwdrivers. I'll tell you that.
They're not, but they're the one that I'm using the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except that I replaced mine in my EDC recently with this.
There you go.
There's a Klein 1 10-fold.
Yeah, if you're very mobile, then that's the way to go, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been around with this on an on-site job recently. Was cool, and the small Nipex just can go around without nowadays.
Right. Nate is out. He's camping right now, so nice to see you joining us from the camping. I guess I won't be on your arse to get on screen then.
Yeah, he had a nice background of the lake right when he was out on Dennis's live stream.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get out of the city, I will tell you. But we're not here to listen to me pine for the pines.
I have a camper now.
Nice. When'd you get that?
My camper.
Yeah, because I've got time to shoot all the way to your place after work one night.
Of course, back and forth.
Okay, Austin is asking an interesting question, because it could be. He says, "Is this like stuff you wouldn't obviously be in your outdoor kit, like maybe outdoor kit you use in your daily life?" Here's the thing: when I originally came up with this conversation topic, I was thinking, because I was talking to Tyler earlier, and I said I forgot what I was going to do tonight. I said favorite outdoor tools, and I didn't want everyone to say it's my axe, man. Come on. So I thought second tier favorite tools. So mine that I showed earlier, right, which I always have at camp or I always reach for, is my wool blanket. right? In the winter, I get under it. In the summer, I'll lay it down as like a ground sheet that I can sit on while I'm stoking the fire or whatever, right? And then my secondary, not my secondary, another favorite secondary tool for me is my notebooks, because I always have a notebook. I'm always taking notes, ideas for another episode, a lot of sky observations after dark, right? I know, it's coming into fall. There's, Orion coming up over the horizon. I can still see the North Star. Da, 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 da. I take a lot of, désastres. Heavenly bodies, I guess. I don't know. I do a lot of stargazing, and I have notes in many notebooks about what I see. And sometimes it's just thoughts that pop, through the transom into my head while I'm sitting there staring at a fire. It's always good to be able to sort of write them down a little bit. Hey, Nate's here. Nate, look where you are. Nate.
Nice, huh?
What are we
I
going
like
to
how
do?
Ava's Outdoorsy Guy says food. Food is so great. I'm always reaching for food.
Yeah, me too. Not these days, but actually, Colin says cast iron. Yeah, I love cast iron. I don't like carrying it, but it's my favorite to cook on. No, carbon steel is my favorite to cook on. But I don't know if I've never taken a carbon steel pan into the woods. I have taken, cast iron into the woods. I'm like, oh God, but I know how to cook with it,
Right. Right now it's favorite. Is it an extra piece of gear or just what's the exact wording on the question, Jess?
I called it non-obvious, but I mean like your second tier, like not your axe or your saw or your knife, because everyone knows about it, but like the thing that you don't tend to think of as playing a starring role in your outdoors life, but kind of does because you're always reaching for it.
Right.
Pine Martin said his Leatherman, for instance.
Yeah, mine too. I carry a Leatherman Wingman on me wherever I go.
Solid choice.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I even have one. I have one I tend not to use as just a backup in case I lose the other one. I love it. But right now I can tell you, what some people overlook after a few portages and getting into camp is something to wear on your feet that's not the footwear you've been wearing all day. So camp shoes.
Right. Simo is showing you his Leatherman there.
What's that one?
It is a Wingman.
Yeah. So it's saw, not scissors, right? No, that's scissors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is scissors, not the saw.
Yeah.
I had one of those for years, and I lost it like a few years ago. I have no idea where it went.
I don't know where mine is either, but I always had mine when I was in
Jesse.
camp. Why you got to be like that? Why you got to be like that? Why you got to be hating, man? But yeah, I always brought a Leatherman with me as well. And in fact, remember, I don't know how many of you watched the live stream I did where I interviewed my stepsister Jacqueline. She runs survival camps for the Air Cadets, and that's what they give them now is Leatherman. Yeah, that's their survival tool.
Yeah. Well, they actually make like a quote unquote children's Leatherman. So there is there's an optional blade where once you reach a certain skill level or a level of comfort for the parent, you can add on the actual blade, and until then, it's just a tool with everything else except for an actual cutting blade.
That's really cool.
It is.
I'm not sure if Leatherman has actually has kept it.
Yeah,
hey,
I think so.
Mine doesn't do it anymore. It used to come in a variety of colors. It was blue and red and yellow.
Yeah, but I think it was discontinued.
Guys, I want to point out that Russell actually asked a serious question here.
What?
He says, "Oh, ask everyone here, are you a flashlight guy, gal, or a headlamp guy, gal?"
Oh,
I'm flashlight.
Headlamp.
I wish I were a headlamp. I never found one that's like durable enough for me.
I'm also headlamp.
Black Diamond Storm, bomb-proof.
Black Diamond Storm.
I don't remember what mine is. mine's a Petzl something, but it does a red light as well as a regular light, so that I can get around at night without ruining my night vision.
I think.
But no, you go, Nate.
Sorry, the Black Diamond Storm is waterproof rated to IPX7 or IPX8, which is just basically like a waterproof rating for 1 meter underwater for a certain amount of time before the seal gives way.
Right.
It's a little on the heavier side because it takes one more AAA than most of the rest of them do. But the weight is worth it because the thing is a beast. So it's waterproof. It still has the tap controls on the side. So instead of clicking through the buttons instead of clicking through the modes on the top, in order to change the brightness, you can actually tap the side, which is quite clever. And
you just tap it; it's touch sense.
Yeah. But I think the thing I like about it most is that it's easy to use with gloves or mittens on, and it's waterproof. So snow. Sloshing around at the bottom of the canoe, if it rains on the campsite, whatever.
Yeah. And does it have a red light as well?
It does indeed, yes.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, I don't know if I saw that particular model, but when I was looking at headlamps at Mech, they had some Black Diamond. And I think it was a lot more expensive than my little Petzl.
You know what? Between Petzl and Black Diamond, they're going to have very competing models, but at the end of the day, as far as value goes, like they're both very comparable, and depending on your budget, between one or the other, you're going to wind up with something at a pretty good bang for your buck compared to like anything you'd buy at Canadian Tire or Cabela's, and in terms of private label.
Right. I no longer buy my outdoor gear at Canadian Tire, to be straight with you. I just don't do it.
I'm glad you're being straight, Jess. I wouldn't approve of that either.
Yeah. Austin says,
it's interesting to watch. Canadian Tire owns Woods now, and if anybody doesn't know, the Forzani Group, which owns Canadian Tire, also owns Sport Check and a number of other stores like that. But they're throwing a lot of money at the Woods brand. They're really trying to. They're open to paying influencers over social media to really push that Woods brand as their premier kind of camping brand.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that has a hard time hearing Nate?
No, he's pretty quiet. Yeah. But he's using his phone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nate.
Okay. I'm looking at the Black Diamond headlamp right here. So it's about $60.
Is it the one that Nate's talking about?
I think so.
The Storm?
Yep, and I can confirm Letterman Leap has been discontinued.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Yep.
Yep. Is that the Storm?
I think so. That's what I typed in.
It might be the new model. Mine's a little older. Anyways, I think I've had two of that model, and I've beaten the crap out of them. So I don't think you could go wrong.
Okay, good, because I break all of mine. I've had $30 ones, $50 ones. They don't last.
Austin says, before I was married, I never owned a can opener. I always used the one on my Swiss Army knife.
For headlamps, I'd say I mostly use two. One in my day work, which is a Phoenix HL60, and if I need something bigger, I have No Light H2R, an older model.
A headlamp Olight?
Yep.
Do you like it?
I do. Let me put it out.
Because I got reached out by them, but then they wrote me back and said, "Oh, you're a gardening channel." Never mind.
Right. Scott says he's a flashlight person. He's a Scott says they are a flashlight person. Pocket flashlights for the win. 5-pack on Amazon for like $25. I have a pocket flashlight around here somewhere, but my tiny person keeps taking them.
This is the only one I have right now, and it's actually very powerful. So
really,
yeah, I go out slug hunting with this one. So
The thing about
Slug.
I think the thing about pocket flashlights is everyone has a pocket flashlight in their phone nowadays.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's the H2R being replaced by
That's the
the
headlamp.
Paran, but it has a detachable strap.
Yeah.
And literally, it is magnetized.
Oh.
And you have a secure strap to put over it.
Yeah.
Works well.
I just realized how far behind I am here in the side chat because I didn't even realize that Ethan was here. How's it going, mister? Damn it. Sorry I'm so late on saying hi. Oh, I see. Okay, I saw Mal put up the link. Okay. Avid's Ethan's favorite tool is Reese's Pieces. I am more partial to the peanut butter cup myself, but I feel that you're right that the pieces are more portable. If you're doing a heavy portage, it's easier to keep the pieces in a pocket without them getting crushed. The cup is a good thing to have in camp, but if you get it crushed, then you're trying to peel it off that paper. No, I think that they're not a tool.
I think my question for Ethan was, does he take them orally or does he crush them and snort them?
Scott's asking if we know about the Leicester River bushcraft poncho. I have no idea about that.
Oh,
anyone here?
Is it one of the 2 billion things online that some small bushcraft company makes 4 of, and a few people use on social media, but it's really good gear, but no one can actually find
Leicester River bushcraft poncho.
A good poncho is definitely nice. I find it has a lot of advantages over a raincoat, that's for sure. But It's can be a little cumbersome. But have you ever worn a raincoat and tried to just actually like walk around and do stuff, because the front of your thighs and your butt and your knees and everything just gets drenched. With a poncho, it's a little bit more work to use your arms.
Yeah, I don't think this will show because it's green. Oh yeah, totally green.
You want to throw the link up for that? I just want to answer this question before we. Yes, because there's a couple more guys in the green room. Yes, I do have a telescope. What I have, I shall now share the screen ash. I shall find the screen ash. I have this, which is not portable enough to take to the woods. Let me tell you. It's big and it's heavy, but yes, I do have a telescope, and I haven't used it in a few years because babies and everything. But yeah, it's good. It's good for planetary stuff. Hey, Austin, and hey, Scott.
Hey,
how's it going, guys?
Can you hear me?
I just want to show the poncho first, and then I gotta go.
Okay.
It's 100% wool, and it's made out of old U.S. Army blankets. I've had it for probably 4 years, and I use it every time I go camping and stuff. I've never been through any serious ringers with it, but it's supposed to go over top of all your stuff. It's got all button snaps on it, and it's got. Well, I'll see if I can do it.
It looks comfy.
Yeah, it's really big. It's got drawstrings on the bottom, so it goes down really far in case you need to get all popped in. You know what I mean? It's got a big front pocket, and then on the front here, it's got 3 pockets inside the hood on the front, and there's a zippered pocket on my belly side.
Wow.
Yeah, that looks like when.
Yeah, it's really high quality. It was $300, but there's also some D rings. There's also D rings on the inside here to attach stuff to.
Gloves onto and stuff.
It's got a flat hood on top so that you can just be all tucked in and stuff. But it's super when I first got it, I thought it you were saying earlier, Jess, it's wool, right? So it's super itchy and stuff. Just get over it. But it's it's pretty good for most of the time.
Nice. I like it.
After you wash it a few times, wool sort of softens up a little bit.
Yeah, and most of the time when I'm wearing it, it's cold anyway. So I got something else on underneath, like a sweater or something else long sleeve. So it's you're just happy to be not freezing cold.
Not freezing.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm out. Bye.
All right. I love your ceiling, by the way.
Thank you.
See ya.
Test.
Little-
Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can.
Yes.
Okay, I was in the green room and the microphone test bar wasn't functioning at all, so I was anxious.
Right. Okay.
I have two things, and then I'll take off.
Sure. What you got?
This is my. I feel like things that are outdoor things that I use in my daily life is kind of more true to form for me.
Okay.
But this is a Gerber. The one-hand opening Gerber.
Oh yeah, you can flick it in the yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was these won the Department of Defense contract here in the U.S. So
They're the same in Canadian forces.
They are.
Yep.
Replaceable blades on the wire cutter.
Yeah, that's the big reason I got these, because I've had, and the other big reason that I won't buy Leatherman anymore is because they have security bits on the on all of their hardware. So if you I have one that's all the screws are loose, and for the longest time I didn't have the security bit tool set, and so I never carried it because everything was loose and floppy, and you couldn't even maintain your own tool.
So the Gerber is what, hex?
The Gerber doesn't have any adjustment. They're pinned.
Oh. Okay.
And then the other one is my vote for the headlamp is a Petzl Tikka R+. It's a rechargeable headlamp.
Repeat that, please. I'm going to write it down.
Petzl
Tikka, Tikka R+.
Okay.
Petzl is Petzl.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep.
And
I'm going to look them up.
I would super recommend something USB rechargeable.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that.
Because I've had this now for 4 or 5 years, and it's great to be able to plug it into micro USB and away you go.
Do you use it in cold temperatures?
Time and again, I'll go snowshoeing with it. I've not had any problems with it. The thing that I love about this particular one is it has a light sensor, so it's hard to demonstrate now, but it actually senses how much light is being reflected back at it and will auto dim the light based on so like out in the snow when there's a lot of light being reflected back, it'll actually like dim down.
Right.
Or if you're doing something and you're working like right at your feet and there's a lot of light being reflected back because the job that you're doing is so at hand, and then you look up, you'll see the light ramp up really fast because it's sensing that there's light that's not being reflected back.
Right.
And
right now.
Yeah. So that's my vote for headlamp.
Very cool. I just want to point out, my Hike with Mike is saying that many a Swamp Talk has been created on notebooks sitting by the fire. So he's definitely gone all in on the notebooks. But right after him, Russell asked, how about an audiobook? And I listen to an audiobook on the drive there, but once I'm in the woods, like some people bring a radio and they listen to music and stuff. I just want to hear the woods. I spend so much of my normal life sort of wishing I was in the woods that, and there's something to me relaxing about reading on actual paper next to a fire. Kind of hard to get the lighting right unless you bring a lantern as well, to be straight with you. But but I do listen to a lot of audiobooks and a lot of podcasts while I'm in transit.
Jesse, do you have a favorite notebook?
Yeah, Moleskine.
Okay, I'm a I'm on my third
That's a right in the rain.
right in the rain. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple of votes for those in the side chat tonight. I was
Yeah,
saying that if I was smarter, that's the way I would have gone.
If you were what?
If I was smarter, I would have done that because that's a lot more weather resistant than these guys are.
Buffering. Hello?
Oh, yeah, you're buffering.
My notebook, like, seriously transferred to my cell phone. Like, I don't bring a notebook and paper and pen anymore. I just will literally record it on my phone.
Right.
That's what my personal diary is now, and I share it with the world.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, when did I plant this out? How did this go? I'll just go back and check the footage.
Right.
That's the compromise. Rocketbook.
Rocketbook?
Yep.
That
it is
pencil is cheaper than the other one that we had.
And it's fully erasable with a small rag and some water.
Right.
But you have QR codes, and you can take a picture of it, and they will upload it to the picture to your favorite service.
Okay.
That's what we use at the office, at work.
Colin says he prefers the Gerber suspension. I don't know which one the suspension is. But Russell also says that he agrees with Nate about the comfy shoes around the fire.
Nate just got a fire going.
Yeah, he sure did. Holy crap! Nice.
They just lifted the ban.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been having it really dry, like us too.
Oh, it's been crazy. There's the local fire department has been putting up bushfires left, right, and center, but then thankfully the last 2 days we've got a pile of rain and they've lifted it. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. Rain says that the dollar store has great cooking equipment for camping. Yeah, the Dollarama around the corner from me has a lot of good sort of camping level cooking utensils for sure. Absolutely. And for stuff that you're using for car camping and stuff, use it like twice a year. Why would you go any more expensive than the dollar store? You know, you go to a SIPAC here in Quebec or whatever the Ontario Provincial Park is called, you know, whatever their version is. And, you know, if you're renting an Utopia or an Authentic or something, that's all dollar store knives and stuff in there anyway, right? Grace says, headlamp if I'm by myself and don't have to worry about blinding someone when I forget I have it turned on.
And you're behind on the chat.
I'm way behind. Apparently, Friends got 2.5 million each for the reunion show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. Like, I'm like the biggest Friends fan.
Are you?
Yeah. I watched the whole thing like many times.
Yeah, I you know, it's a well-written show and everything, but there's something about TV from that era that I have a hard time with for some reason. Russell says he's happy to buy disposable knives from Canadian Tire. That's good because they're pretty much all disposable. Chris actually loves the Storm headlamp as well, but he wants to upgrade to a Phoenix, which is rechargeable.
I like the rechargeable things.
Oh, that's the headlamp flashlight combo.
Yeah, that is like a lot like this.
Yeah,
that's a lot of lumens.
My only gripe with the lithium-ion rechargeable stuff, as far as like micro USB goes, is we all know how that story goes, don't we? With that one chunk of battery, right?
Yeah, that goes out on you while you're in the woods, and you don't have. Yeah, you can't just replace it.
It's at the end of its lifespan because you just didn't do the drain and charge thing properly.
Yeah.
And then no matter how hard you try, you can never charge it back up to its full power, and then you pay a weirdly exorbitant amount of money for that one little chunk of lithium-ion battery again, so you have a fresh battery. I get it, but at the same time, there is some security in being able to take a $5 chunk of batteries that can keep your waterproof headlamp running for as long as you can put those batteries into it, right?
Yeah. It's funny. This conversation in the side chat is all headlamps and flashlights now. Colin says my Vaunt headlamp was only $10 and I got 2 for that price. And then Russell pops in with, I carry a pocket flashlight and O-light, but headlamps for the win. Mark is asking if anyone's old enough to remember Sierra cups.
Oh heck yeah! Coghlan still makes them.
Which one is the Sierra cup?
It's the kind of it's the spork of bowl cups. Can anyone hear me there?
Yeah. I'm just trying to it's just a big cup, isn't it?
It's like a think of it as like an inverse pyramid with a slightly flat bottom.
Yes.
Colon shape.
Yes. Right, so that it won't tip, essentially. Right. Yes. Okay. Yes. And you said Colin still makes those?
Coghlan says, yeah.
He's asking what's the pretty bottle of water behind you, Nate?
That is who's asking?
Mark.
It is a pretty body of water somewhere north of where I live, but south of somewhere else. As these Crownland spots go.
Right. Ethan says, "Nah, man, I melt my Reese's Pieces in a spoon with a lighter and inject them." You guys are so... Jeez. Yikes.
Well, I'm not surprised.
That's disgusting.
Sugar junkies.
Man. Russell is asking if he's beginning to wonder if Nate is real and not just some poorly lit anime. Actually, you do kind of have an anime thing happening there. Russell needs more information about this telescope. Okay, hold on.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out. I need to get some work done. I've been sick all week, so I need to catch up on some editing. I'm gonna catch you guys later.
Okay, have yourself a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later. Bye. Russell, I just dropped the link for the info about that telescope in the side chat. They do make easier ones to set up now, though. Dennis has a Victorinox multi-tool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Heard good things about them.
Yeah.
Never had the chance to play with one long enough to get a feel out of it for it.
Well, technically, your Swiss Army knives are all multi-tools.
It is, yes.
Right.
But the spirit is.
Yeah, no, it's but.
Yeah. I think what kicks it for me for a multi-tool is the pliers, and I find I use the pliers very frequently.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how often you use the pliers when you're out in the woods. I would never have thought of it, but you really, really do. Hike with Mike, always good to read some Thoreau or Muir when out in the woods. Yeah, that's like the motif is happening there, right? You're sitting there in the woods, you're reading these guys. Yeah. Mark says he used Right in the Rain a bunch while teaching kayaking. And then Russell says no one cares what Russell thinks.
I think I'm fairly close to. Is Raspberry Rock also north of where I am, but south of somewhere else? I'm pretty sure.
I think he might be.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he is. He is slightly north of Sean's old place, maybe.
He's near Sean's old place, but I very carefully did not ask where. Since we're on the interwebs and all. Dennis says, "Fire!" Oh wait, it's okay. It's only Nate.
and the fire ban is off. I'm allowed.
Right.
You know what's great for stove and isobutane sales though? A fire ban. A fire ban is fantastic for isobutane.
It'll sell stoves. Well, that's sort of like at the beginning of this live stream, I said, I was giving examples of what I meant by like a second tier or non-obvious tool, and And I said, some people always have the same twig stove with them. And I have my IKEA hobo stove, which I made, and I have a tiny Firebox Nano or whatever it's called, the tiny one. Yeah. And I also have the Primus one burner that you just screw onto your little butane can.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a small can of isobutane fuel and a single burner little light stove is pretty crucial to have with you, because let me tell you, if you're out in the wilderness and just plead ignorance that you didn't know there was a fire ban, you may get an MNR person or a ranger that is lenient in that respect and understand. Right. You may get one that's not, and will hit you with every fine in the book. So
right.
And that is literally up to that officer's discretion. So I don't think it's a bad idea, especially with the way these guys are flying around float pines right now willy nilly. So yeah.
Right. Hey Russell.
Hey boys.
How's it going, mister?
Sorry, Nate, I didn't hear what you said about where I live, actually.
Oh yeah, north of me, but south of somewhere else.
Are you in Muskoka?
Yeah, currently right now I'm right along the Muskoka Perry Sound line, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm out about an hour east of Peterborough.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but I love the Muskoka area. Our grandparents had a cottage on Lake Joseph in the Muskoka. Beautiful spot.
Nice. Yeah, now my grandkids, unless they plan a rebellion, will never ever have lakefront property anywhere in Muskoka.
Right.
Is Nate very quiet to anybody else?
Oh, sorry.
No, he's very quiet.
It's just me. I'm using my phone. I'm on my phone. That's all I got.
I'm just taking a look at the MSRP on the telescope. Yeah, mine was I think $1,600 when I bought it.
Okay. Yeah, Nate, is there an option for turning up the mic on your phone?
Oh, hang on. I can try and hang on. I don't know. I can try and turn up the volume a little bit.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah, hang on.
While you're doing that, Dennis says, I use the pliers on my multi-tool to pull hooks out of my fingers, and I have proof. I will trust you. I do not require proof. Don't worry about it, buddy. I trust you on that one. No proof required. I'm trying to catch up, but it's just like, oh.
Multi-tools are just so damn handy.
Dennis says, Raspberry Rock is the pet name for Russell's kidney stone. He kicked himself off the line.
Dennis, get in here, buddy. Come join us.
We have everything we need.
We got Simone eating.
Oh yeah, of course.
Suddenly it's a mukbang video, right?
And we got. Hold on, let me do my Jess impression right now. My black thing won't stay on the mic. So, how do you guys feel about your second tier stuff? And
Russell's hating right now, guys. I kind of think that I need to rearrange this so that this is actually on this side of the desk.
I'm totally going to give you a hard time about everything, Jess.
There we go. How's this? There you go. I just moved the camera.
Looks like you've got a ghost in the closet. I like it.
Yeah. I can just move it further over. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I'm not like this. It's because I moved it. Anyways, whatevs. Okay.
Nate, did you find a setting?
Well, he found the setting to kick himself off the live stream.
I tried to turn up the beta volume in my mic settings on StreamYard. I don't know if can you hear me any more clearly?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Well, only because you're
almost in it.
Leaning weirdly close. Yeah. Sorry.
Jess, do you not have any? Does StreamYard not have any settings where you can right click on them and boost his volume?
It did. It didn't look like it. No.
Oh no, I was asking Jess.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay, now speak, Nate.
I don't know. Is it louder? Is it louder?
Well, I did click on you, and it does have a mic settings, and so I clicked on automatically adjust mic volume.
Huh. Okay.
Hold on. Let me take that off, and then let me drive up here. Okay, now speak.
Yeah. Hello.
Actually, that's a bit better. So I just cranked your volume up.
Okay.
Okay.
Little technical difficulties here, peoples.
We can still hear you, Nate. Just
Oh yeah, I know. You know what's funny is this talk about gear, Jess, is it's funny because, you know, I think especially given the pandemic, you know, a lot of us have not been going out like we normally have, but we've also been intaking a lot of media about gear and about camping trips, and we're watching old stuff and we're watching new stuff about trips and places and gear that people are using. And so that first trip back out often is like this weird mix of like, oh, well, here's what I took last year or the year before. But you've also kind of like gained maybe a new set of knowledge or a new kind of perspective on what you might take or where you might go.
Right.
And all of a sudden that kind of changes what you pack. And I'll tell you, I'm out here for 2 nights and I definitely overpacked. I'll admit it, but it's also going down to 4 degrees here tonight. So at the same time, I needed to make sure I was going to be comfortable and safe and be, sitting huddled around a fire all night. So
there he is.
Yeah, there he is. So, yeah, watching Dennis's show just makes you want to buy gear. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. The other Russell. Dennis, you're a brat tonight.
How we doing, fellas?
All is well.
Oh, you wish.
Wait a second.
Okay, everybody trade names.
I don't have a disco ball, but I got a rubber chicken.
Oh, you know what my favorite thing to do? We used to go, City Girl and I used to go shopping at Walmart all the time. And there was like in the dog section, I was always looking for dog food. In the dog section, there was a big bin of those chickens. Right? And I just go, and then I walk away. I was like, City Girl look around the corner and be like, what are you doing?
Russell's one of those guys who would take the loudspeaker phone off the wall in a place like that and then fart into it and put it back and walk away.
There we go, Jess. You're showing us my first shit.
I'm not quite that low brow. I would say something a lot more interesting than
that. So you're right. I'm the type who would take the. Never mind.
Oh man, I want a beer.
Good stream tonight.
Smellorama is not working anymore.
Right. Thank God it's not smell-o-vision. Okay, this conversation is going off the rails. Let's get it back into shape here, guys. But especially because what Nate was talking about before everything kind of went south is actually kind of interesting. How, like, how many people have dealt with their inability to get into the woods with retail therapy, right? Good night, LT.
What?
I haven't asked one.
More so that we're watching, or we're armchair camping. And then the armchair camping is also making us, do some shopping maybe afterwards. And so now when we're faced with packing, all of a sudden we have like maybe a few more options than we did before, but we haven't really thought out how we're going to sub this or that yet. Right.
Yeah. Right.
I missed the question.
Well, I was saying how many people have dealt with their inability to get into the woods or whatever with doing a little retail therapy because of kind of what Nate was saying about how we're watching gear videos and camping videos and stuff. And Nate is he's making a point that's related to what I'm saying, but slightly different.
So because we can't go camping, we're buying shit?
The short answer to that, Russell, from my direct experience is yes.
Okay.
Fair point.
Just trying to make sure I got the question.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, I was somewhere today wearing my new Groman, right? And a fellow said, "Oh, were you in the military?" And I said, "No, why do you think?" He said, "Well, you're carrying a knife."
Well,
Okay.
actually,
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, but Russell, actually, Groman used to be a Canadian military issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he said that they always wear Canadian made knives, which I get.
Yeah.
I totally get. But he thought my knife was made in Ontario or something like that.
Nope.
Romans are made in Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Two little comments I wanna point out. Mark says tier 2, a folding foam Z-rest sitting pad or an inflating one. Warmth for sitting on hard cold surfaces. Yeah, that's something I need to get. I need to get one of those because you're right. You're absolutely right. And I have frozen my arse often enough to think, and especially because second tier items are a whole lot less interesting to spend your money on, right? So fairly often they can be the thing that you get last, or you go years. Like I should really get one year.
Yeah.
But I want like a new knife.
Here's the thing about those sit pads is those Z-rest sitting pads are amazing, and I'm sure we've seen a lot of people using them. I have a couple myself, and they're great. In the snow, as far as kneeling goes, they can't be beat. In the snow, as far as sitting goes, they can get a little slippery.
Okay.
Now, Wool Power, which is a Swedish wool brand, they actually make a kneeling pad out of recycled wool bits from some of their products.
Yeah.
And it actually it actually has kind of a handy a loop you could put a carabiner through or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've used that, and it's fantastic because it's extremely insulative and it doesn't slip.
And they make 3 sizes of that too, I think.
Yep. Yeah, you always have to go with the large, or you're 90 pounds. I don't know. Right. But so the kind of the meeting in the middle there is that the Z pad is quite light and it folds really nicely. And as far as kneeling goes, you can't beat it. Sitting can be slippery. The Wool Power is anything but slippery, and it's nice and insulative, but it will pick up some snowballs.
Okay. Right.
But depending on the conditions, I mean, if you had both of them and they both cost peanuts really, as far as gear goes, they're both great pieces of gear. And that Wool Power large pad, man, that has some really good insulating power for how light that is. And I have folded and curled that thing, and it seems to take it no problem. Nice.
Ian the Weblord says, I bought a Nissan, as our British friends would say, Pathfinder to get back into the woods easier. Does that count as retail therapy? Hell yeah. That's my kind of retail therapy.
Yeah.
Mark says Z-Rest or Z-Rest or whatever is for summers only. I guess he's agreeing with you on the thermal power of the Wool Power and not so much on the other one.
Yeah, I've sat on those Z-Rests on any kind of slope, and it's almost impossible. If you're kneeling on it to start a fire or something, great.
Yeah, that's fine.
Other than that, I'll take the Wool Power because you can stick it down on a weird slope and sit on it, and it's not going anywhere, and it's very, very insulative. And I think they retail for $22 or something, whatever.
I think the Wool Power is a little more than that, but I've been looking at getting the Wool Power. I know that they've got them at Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company. That's sort of my one-stop internet shopping location, I guess, just because I know of it.
Right.
But I just want to point out that we currently have 13 people watching and only 9 people have hit the thumbs up. So the rest of you are hurting my feelings.
Cut your whining. I just give you a thumbs up.
Thanks, buddy. It's so beautiful, man.
Sorry.
Anyways, guys, I'm gonna exit stage left and enjoy this fire a bit, and I'll hit the thumbs up after I'm gone there for you, Jess. But good live feed, and
all right, have a good night.
Yeah,
thanks a lot for stepping in.
Good seeing you, Nate.
Okay,
See you later. For
Speaking
those of
of
you who
none
don't
of-
know, you gonna say something? You gonna talk?
Yeah, speaking of non-obvious, I actually got a good sleeping pad for this camping season.
I need to get a good sleeping pad.
Yeah.
I have a terrible sleeping pad.
Yeah, I was just tired of sleeping on pretty much anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a climate insulated sleeping pad this year.
Nice.
A lot of people don't realize the importance of sleep when they go on a trip, or the comfort of sleep, right?
Yeah.
Like I spent many years with cheap under like the self-inflating air mattresses underneath me there, and wake up with a sore hip and toss and turn. You can't get that comfort zone, right? And you just get a crappy sleep, right? Then your next day on the water or whatever turns out to be bad or miserable, right?
Because yeah, absolutely.
Never had that problem since I've had a hammock though.
Right. But you see, here's the thing, because I have a hammock. It's a Hennessy, something asymmetrical zip. But I need something to put under me when I'm in it. And I don't know if that's a sleeping pad or if it's like an underquilt or something. What I want is to not spend $1 bazillion, but to get a certain amount of value for my money. And there are more opinions on the internet about this than I know what to do with.
You want to know what I use?
What do you use?
I use a Thermarest Scout. It's a very lightweight, small Thermarest. It's got just enough insulating properties to keep me warm underneath, and I'm not having to carry anything with the bulk of an underquilt. Underquilt, say for the winter camping, because you need the thermal properties,
right?
Yeah.
Thermarest Trail Scout?
I believe so.
Self-inflating?
Self-inflating.
Okay, the prices aren't too bad.
Very inexpensive, and they're pretty compact. Like the thing rolls up to be about like this big around by like that, right? It's
right. Yeah. My sleeping pad, my terrible one is one of those self-inflating, right, with a little knobbing on the corner that you I just want to say I'm not sure what's happening, but Sid Burgess says oops fixed, but I don't know what he said before. But hi, welcome to the live stream. Did I miss something? I'm trying to look back, but and then Grace said oops, sorry. I don't know what's going on over there. What's going on, you guys? But because I need to get myself a sleeping pad for, and I can use that even when I'm sleeping on the ground in a tent, right? So it's a win.
Yeah.
You know, but on Amazon I have the choice of a standard valve or a wing lock valve. What the hell's a wing lock valve?
I'm not sure.
I'll be straight honest with you. I got away from self-inflating. It's just it's just something else that will break for whatever reason.
Right.
Well, self-inflating though, all that is the sponge expands inside there, thereby sucking air into the thing, and then you throw a couple extra puffs in, right?
But at the same time, you shouldn't blow any air from your mouth inside that sleeping pad, because you will put humidity in it, and it will not be able to get out of there.
In the winter time. Well, I leave mine's stored downstairs right now. I leave it stored in the basement, fully with the valve open, so it's fully inflated, right?
Yep.
Just so that it doesn't keep that any compression. But in the winter time, I wouldn't put a couple puffs in because it's just going to crystallize inside. Right.
Yeah. You don't want the moisture.
In the summertime, I have no problem. I'll throw it. I'm just talking you get it, let it self-inflate, and then you just give it 2 puffs, and that gives it enough loft, right? But then again, I'm throwing like 225 pounds on it, so it's it's gonna compress.
Now, Dennis, you're a lot taller than me, right?
I'm 6'1.5".
Right. So, because there are three sizes of can I start that sentence again?
3 sides.
All right. There are three sizes of this thermarest. There's like 20 by 47. That's the small. There's large, which is 25 by 77. And then there's regular. That's 20 by 72. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you've got the large.
I'm not sure.
My problem is I don't
sizes. When I've had mine for about 10 years now, right? So I don't know. Back then, I don't think they had different sizes.
I don't know inches from Shinola. So is 77 inches like 6 feet?
6 feet 7.
6 feet 5 inches. Yeah.
Okay, so then 72 would probably be what I'm looking for then, because I'm 167 centimeters tall.
Yeah.
167.
167.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead with the regular one. The small one is too short for you.
Right. So, okay. I mean, I'm not buying it right now because but so
yeah, Mark Putman's has a good point down there too, eh? About that, a lot of freezing weather, you have no choice but to inflate it. Yeah, sometimes you get in the wintertime, a self-inflating mattress won't self-inflate, so you have to you pretty much have to blow into it.
I got back in with that latest pad that I got. I had the choice between the rechargeable electric pump and the inflation bag, and I took the later.
Is the inflation bag that big one that you hold up to your face and go? I mean, like you drive it around.
No,
a bit
you just fill it with air and push it in.
Yeah, that's what I have on my daughter's sleeping pad. You essentially whoop and fill it up, and then you can do like a couple of puffs just to finish it off, and then roll it up. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I didn't want to get into the electric one.
Did you get your climate from Drop? What's it called?
I got mine straight from Climate, their websites.
Okay. What the hell did Drop used to be called? Mass Drop.
It used to. Yep.
Yeah.
I was looking for a no bug zone for this season.
Dennis has one of those, right?
I've got one yet.
But Pine Martin has the one we want. The old design.
The original style, or the original style with the removable tarp, right?
Yeah.
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 Oh my God! Now Dennis is eating.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like chowing down.
Got me Doritos.
I'm gonna make a souffle and eat it right now.
What an excellent idea! I made mac and cheese for supper tonight.
And I'm on a total diet tonight because I got Mr. Big going too.
Jeez,
there goes the diet and the cholesterol.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Wow, that was really big.
It's huge.
When you're that big, they call you Mister.
That's what she said.
Nice. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I got to eat something right now because I'm out of beer. Well, I'm too lazy to go get another beer. I should put.
But you've got bourbon behind you, don't you?
I do.
I'm out of beer. Well, it's across the room.
I think. Yeah. I saw some Woodfords. I saw some Makers. I mean, you got all kinds of good stuff there.
I'm getting low on some of them. There's some, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got the Knob Creek.
Let's play the 649.
You know what? That's probably my least favorite, that Knob Creek.
Yeah, I can't get with it. I've tried, and I realized that it's too expensive to keep buying bottles just to try to develop a taste for it when there are so many other good whiskeys out there.
Yeah. So my favorite one's probably the Jim Beam Black.
Really?
Smooth. Yeah, it's cheap and it's smooth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm getting low on too. So.
Yeah. It's a popular one though
It is.
in the whiskey community.
All right, stop trying to talk me into getting another beer. I'm gonna get one.
I got it down. I might as well have some.
Yeah, exactly. Dennis, you weren't around for when I showed what I'm drinking tonight. I mean, you know, I'm more of a Scotch guy than a bourbon guy, so I'm having the Wolfburn Aurora. It's a sherried Scotch. It is a sherried Scotch. It is 46% alcohol by volume, natural color, non-chill filtered.
Cheers,
It's quite delicious. It's magically delicious. Cheers.
Okay, seeing as we're talking about Scotch now, what's a mildly smoky Scotch? I'm not huge on big smoke.
Okay, I love big smoke. Something like a Kilkerran 12, because there is a peatiness there, but it's not overpowering. It's not like an Ardbeg. You're not going to like an Ardbeg. I love Ardbeg. It's one of my top. But yeah, Kilkerran. It's from Campbelltown.
Kilkerran?
Kilkerran, yeah. Do you want me to find you a link? Let me see if they sell it at the LCBO. I mean, since Russell's not around, we may as well take a break to talk about Scotch, right?
I like Scotch.
I'm just finding.
Hey, who all here loved Russell's last thumbnail? Was that sexy or what? Oh yeah.
I've gotten some interesting comments about it.
Really?
That's okay. Never really rocking the boat, right?
Most of them pretty positive, actually.
Dennis, I just dropped the link from the LCBO in the side chat.
Oh, that didn't work, Jess?
Nope, it absolutely didn't. What the hell? What's going on, LCBO?
There's
Copy. Oh. Is that going to work? Oh. Because the URL is over the 200 character limit.
Really?
LCBO, I'm very disappointed in you. Hold on a second here. Let me see if they have a share button. See, the SAQ has a share button. LCBO, you're really letting me down here.
Well, I got the name here, 12 year, right? Kilkerran. It's in the URL.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another one is like if that's a $96 Scotch in Ontario. Apparently, the Johnny Walker Green Label has a bit of smoke to it. The black also has a bit of smoke to it. I don't do Johnny Walker and I don't do blends, but apparently I have been told by many people that the green I would really like, and that is an $80 bottle here in Quebec. So it's probably about the same at the LCBO. I don't know how to tiny URL things. That's the thing. Like, I have no idea how you do that.
Go to the website, tiny URL.
Really?
Yeah.
You drop all the big link in there, hit make short, and it makes it a little shorter.
Turn that long URL into a tiny URL. Okay. Let me see.
There's also there's a bunch of services that does this. There's one from Google. There's one from. Jeez.
Wow. Really? Hold on. Tell me if this works, folkies. Simone, do you see the hidden message? Okay, so we can keep it hidden.
Yes.
I don't want that going into public. Chris, he got your email.
Yep. And I will send an email to Chris directly.
So I can hide it now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Chris, your message got to him. I just don't want everyone to have your email address. So did that tiny URL work?
I'm not seeing it on screen yet.
What? What's wrong here?
There we go, tiny URL.
There's nothing wrong. Don't worry.
Oops. Have to copy and paste it.
But I don't know how to deal when there's nothing wrong.
Copy.
This conversation has completely gone off the rails.
I got it. Thank you.
Hey, actually, Dennis, speaking of, we can bring this full circle. How do you bring your booze into the woods? Like if you're bringing like a bourbon or something?
Usually an Nalgene bottle, or I've also used just Gatorade, a well-washed out Gatorade bottle.
Okay, because Pine Martin does the same. He's got Nalgene bottles that don't impart a plasticky taste to the whiskey.
Yeah,
because I mean, if the border doesn't close between Quebec and Ontario again or anything, then I may see him at some point this year, and I want to bring some nice whiskey.
Well, I'm heading up in a week and a half. If you want to join,
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Stop talking about it because I just pine. You know, I just pine. Stupid word, pining. Pine for the pines. But like, I don't want to bring like a metal flask either because you can. Oh, in fact, Sid Burgess says flask. I found that a flask is only good for a 1-day trip. If I'm there for like, because the spirit can start to eat away at the metal inside if it's there for like 4 days or whatever, imparting a metallic taste to the very expensive booze inside.
like I say, try a Gatorade bottle, but it has to be washed out really good, and
Right.
to get rid of the Gatorade flavoring and.
Yeah, because you don't want. Yeah.
But that's usually what we put our Baileys in there for our morning coffees. A couple of those bottles. The nice thing about them, and nobody heard this from Canoe Hound, but you know, for those who might burn their trash while they're on a trip,
right?
Know, then you're not going to do that to your Nalgene bottle, right?
Right. Right. And are you like? Yeah. I'm gonna get an Nalgene, but like the thing is, when I'm at Sports Expert or Atmosphere or something, you know, a Nalgene bottle is a big honking bottle. It's like, you know,
you can get the smallest one. Yeah, they do make half a liter.
Yeah, because I think that's as big as I'd want to go and bringing whiskey into the woods. Why the hell would I bring, you know, even 500 mil?
Well, there's even smaller ones.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get smaller.
Chris, to Chris Garland, can you please drop me your email address again? There's a problem with it. I just want to make sure that I got the right one.
Mr. Big Bird. Want a bite? I can't. I'm not going to. Oops, sorry. I should hit the mute.
Damn it, Dennis.
Oh, sorry.
Ian, the web lord, says just bring the whole bottle. You can take what's left home if there is any left. The thing is, there's an issue with bringing glass into like parks and stuff, and a lot of people don't want you bringing glass into Crown land either. And whereas I am confident, I mean, like I'm, you know, bring it in, bring it out kind of thing. But
not only that, but a glass bottle weighs a lot more than a plastic bottle, right? Now, you know, sometimes we'll even accommodate. Like if we're going on a trip, you can go to the LCBO and you can buy like Smirnoff vodka is a great thing to bring in because you can make, you know, just powdered Kool-Aid or orange drink or whatever, right? And then have vodka and orange juice type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But they sell a lot of vodkas are sold in plastic bottles now.
Yeah.
That actually a couple of cheap whiskeys are sold in plastic bottles. Right? So
yeah, I picked up a bottle of Alberta Premium Cask Strength. Now, if you're in the whiskey world, that bottle means something. But it, you know, the juice inside the bottle is so good, but the entire aesthetic that Alberta Premium goes for is so like low rent that before touching the bottles, I was convinced it was a plastic bottle. It just looked like a plastic bottle. Screw top, terrible label, the whole bit. And I was so surprised when I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it and I picked it up and it was a glass bottle. I was like, guys, really? But usually a plastic bottle is one of those little hip flasks, right? Kind of, right? The little kidney shaped.
Yeah.
For like hobos and street sleepers.
Those plastic liquor bottles, though, like, as long as you know what's in there, you could have the plastic vodka bottle, and you could fill that with your scotch.
Yeah.
Right? Then you're not having to worry about bringing glass in, and you're going to make sure it's well sealed. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get Nalgene down to 60 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's good to know.
There's a really high quality vodka called Prince Igor. It comes in a really nice gray plastic bottle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like buying a box of your favorite wine. A box of your finest wine, cuvée du dépanneur.
You know what? That's what we bring into the backcountry too. On our week-long trips, we'll bring a bag of like a Merlot or something like that for our steak dinner night, right?
Right.
But it's a box of wine, but you take the bag out of the box, put it in the bottom of your food barrel, and put all your soft food on top of it, and you're good to go.
Right. Right. Tenenbaum says they have smaller Nalgene's at Mech, so maybe I'll check it out. I want to pick my daughter up a compass anyway.
And for that part, I do remember that Canadian Tire used to carry them all the sizes. I mean.
Of the Nalgene?
Yep.
Yeah. Dennis, by the way, I wanted to let you know that I pinged my fiddle player about 10 minutes ago to see if there's another mildly peaty scotch for you to try. Something that's a little smoother. Because he and I we're both scotch types.
Mm-hmm.
But like he might suggest a Highland Park or something, but I don't know Highland Park very well.
I got to figure something nice to bring up because when I go canoeing with Callan this year, I got to make sure I have something to do.
When are you going?
Not sure yet.
Okay, but it's not like I got you. You don't have to know by tomorrow or something, right?
No.
I think, Jess, you're saying that you're a single malt guy, and Dennis needs a blended scotch, right? Oh,
Is
please say yes. I had to inject something into this conversation.
Okay, what he said. Yes.
I'm trying so hard.
We could talk about beer, but the thing is, Sid Burgess says Highland Park is fairly middle of the road.
He said that like we could talk about pee, I
didn't say pee. I said beer.
Yeah, but the way you said it was like pee. We could talk about pee.
Of course.
So sorry, Jess. Sorry to interrupt.
We could talk about pee. I mean, if
I'm
really
drinking it right
want
now. Look.
What are you having?
It's actually a Newcastle Brown Ale.
That's not pee. That's a legit respectable beer. It's pee. It's not like you're drinking Budweiser.
One of those Newcastles committed suicide on the way home from the grocery store for Russell.
One of my most popular videos was me trying to get to the cabin and everything breaking down, the trailer falling off the ATV and stuff. And I, if I pull out one of the beers, I'm like, oh my God, it's dead. And then I just I'm drinking out of the hole in the can. And then I quickly open another can that hasn't been broken and I drink that. But
because you start with one, finish with another.
Anyway,
Grace says she drinks Red Stripe, by the way, to bring it into the beer. Red Stripe, I believe, is it Jamaican, Grace?
It's Jamaican,
yeah. Red Stripe. Yeah. I have not had a Red Stripe in a long time. I told you guys that I used to crew on a 30-foot French-built sailboat, right? Lots of blank stares. Okay, so I have a friend who bought a 30-foot a Beneteau Beneteau First 30. Boat from the mid 70s when everything was over engineered because they weren't really sure how much of a kicking fiberglass could take. And it's just on Lac something, one of the big lakes around Montreal, out in the West Island there. Dorval's, Point Claire.
Lake Saint Louis.
I think it's Lac Saint Louis, yeah. So we would sail out of the Royal St. Lawrence Yacht Club. And years and years ago, before I burnt out of tech the first time, my buddy Jason and I were bad influences on each other. We would sit there at our desks and send each other emails about sailboats. And we were both at that point fairly upwardly mobile in the tech industry in the 90s. So there was a lot of money around. And I had this brochure of a catamaran that I wanted to buy and move on to and live on. It was by Aliora Marine, French built again, of course, because what the hell were they called? It was called the Privilège 31. Anyways,
Wasn't that bad?
It was 295 grand American in 1998. So anyways, I burnt out of tech the first time and he bought a sailboat. Right? So I used to crew on his boat, and I technically still do. It's just we both have kids and life keeps getting in the way. And so there are certain drinks that you always see on a sailboat.
Port.
Almost always port, yeah.
My favorite.
Rum. You know, Mount Gay is a big one because they fund a lot of the races and stuff. And on his boat, we would make dark and stormies using what's the rum called with the black seal on the front?
The black seal?
Yeah. I mean the animal. Is it Teachers? I don't remember. But this rum company bought a ginger beer company, and like the dark and stormy is officially this rum and this ginger beer together. But yeah, hold on. There's stuff going on here. Yes, Grace is telling me that I was right about it being Jamaican. Sounds like a Beneteau. Mark says yes. Lots of tumble home on those first 30s. I'm not sure where he's going with St. Louis and Starboard, but anyway.
Because I said port.
Jesus, Mark. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. That's like a nautical dad joke.
Yeah, but the people did, and you have not.
Yeah. He says, Sid says, my dream boat is a 40s era Chris Craft utility hardtop. That's a whole different kind of boat, but man, you can't beat those Chris Craft for just classy on the water.
And they're pretty much unsinkable.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good comment by Ian the Weblord. Even though these conversations wander, I still learn lots of interesting things, especially being new back to camping person 35 years after camping as a scout. I'm glad to see this comment because I started this channel when I was getting back into camping after years of not. And I'm someone who needs the woods semi-regularly, or I become a real bitch. I'm angry all the time and everything. And this channel was part of me getting back in touch with the woods loving side of myself. So I'm glad to see, Ian, this comment, because in the interim between the last time I did a lot of camping and paddling and when I started it again, all the equipment changed. Like all the stuff that used to be really solid, you know, no doubt kind of brands and stuff were gone and replaced by other stuff. And I realized it's because back in the early days, there just weren't as many people making really. I have this love of the 50s not in terms of, you know, the way we treated black people or natives or anything, but in terms of that was a time when building, making a really good, a well-made axe wasn't making a well-made axe. It was just making an axe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like workmanship was just built into the process, the way it slowly stopped being over time. And I found that accelerated after the 70s, and it got really bad after like the late 90s. And so whereas the camping stuff that I grew up with was non glamorous, it could usually take a beating. Now we had cheap stuff. In fact, on at least one camping trip, my dad was a carpenter, and on at least one camping trip, our camp knife was a utility knife. Okay. You know, and our axe was the cheap thing from Canadian Tire. But the thing is, the cheap thing from Canadian Tire back then, in like the 80s, was a whole lot better than the cheap thing at Canadian Tire is today. But I had never heard of Grantsford's Brook before discovering Ray Mears, who was part of me rediscovering what I needed in terms of the forest, which is when I started this channel, and I think it was 2013, you know? Wow, that's a long ass time ago. Was it 2013 or was it 20? You know, it has to have been later than that. There's no way it was 2013. Give me a second here, guys. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna double check when I started this channel.
So what's up?
What's up, guys?
Well,
this is
normal
awkward
business
at all.
as usual, you know.
What's up?
Work way too much, and yeah.
You know what's interesting about that? I keep sort of hitting on this concept. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, but I keep hitting on this concept that we glorify being over busy, right? We glorify being overworked. We glorify like, man, I worked all day and then I came home and I worked at night and I did like 70 hours last week and stuff. And why do we do that? Yes, 29th of July, 2013 was my first video. And I only have
unfortunately, the problem that I have is that we are short-staffed and.
But like everything is set up so that it's like cool to be overworked, and that is
but that's not the goal in our case.
You know? Oh man, we're at 11 o'clock. All right, we're at 11 o'clock, so we're gonna shut it down because I'm old and I need to sleep, and everyone else here needs to sleep as well. So I hope to see you all again next week. I thought this was a really good conversation. I really liked having these guys on. Dennis, nice to see you always.
You too, Jess.
You guys kept it nice and interesting when I was flagging and getting boring. To all of you in the side chat, that was a really good conversation too. I couldn't keep up with it, you know, as usual. So let's do this again next week. Between now and then, please stay healthy, stay sane, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Good night, all.
Later, everyone.